Welcome back in. Welcome back in. It's your boy Mike coming back at y'all, man. Week 12 as we prepare to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I do know what you all are thinking, and I just wanted to address it at the beginning. Yes, the last game that we played was week 10. But unfortunately, do not have any of the footage from our Week 11 contest against the Saints. All I can do is apologize. Not sure what happened. I'm going to go ahead and show you all, though. We did play that game. We played it once. It wasn't, any funny business going on. You see, you got the one right there. 34-31 victory, and the Saints definitely made us work for it. They were leading us 3-0 after one, 17-16 after the first half. We did make a push in the third quarter, and they did get on the board towards the end of the game to get things a little closer before we ultimately ended the game. Glenn Roberts, over 300 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, took just 2 sacks. Derek Carr, 193 yards, but about 50 of those came on their final possession, so nothing great overall. Ty Davis-Price was held down just 15 yards on 7 carries, and then also got injured, so that contributed to that as well. Rashad Bateman leading the way, 6 for 87 and a score. Amani Hunter filling in for an injured Rondale Moore in the slot, 6 for 65 and a touchdown. Trey McBride also getting some action. Alvin Kamara nearly 200 all-purpose yards. Darrell Hobbs actually scored our ultimately game-winning touchdown right after that Davis-Price injury. See a couple sacks there, 2 sacks from Isaiah Foskey. Lewis Seen continuing his wonderful bounce back season with us as he gets another interception. And Zaven Collins going to be out for this game, unfortunately. Not ideal at all when you're facing a high-powered offense such as Jacksonville. And as we were talking about Jacksonville, man, Trevor Lawrence is the heart and soul of this team now in his 5th season, still just 25 years old, but already one of the best quarterbacks in the league. 91 overall, playing up to a 94, and he is superstar development. We know that he has an absolute cannon on him, 96 throw power, can hit all levels of the field, and also has legs to threaten in the run game as well. And he's going to be joined by Travis Etienne in the backfield, just 1 year older than him. Of course, his fellow draft classmate, both drafted in the first round of that same draft. ETN playing up to an 89, but a true 88 overall. And we know that he has, game-breaking, maybe not game-breaking, but very, very good speed at 94. He's very wiggly with 90 juke move, and he can go through you a little bit. Don't let his diminutive stature fool you, as he does have quite a bit of power as well. And Christian Kirk, man, who when he signed originally with Jacksonville, Jacksonville caught a lot of heat for essentially way overpaying him to be their number one. But even with Calvin Ridley in real life in the fold this year, Kirk was the guy. When he went down with injury, it coincided with their kind of collapse on offense, along with the injury, of course, to Trevor Lawrence. But Kirk's someone we're going to have to pay massive attention to in this game. And then switching over to defense, Tyson Campbell leading the way as their top dog in the DB room, playing up to a 90 overall, 94 speed, 97 zone coverage. So we know, I'm sure, what kind of coverage they're going to favor today. Also has the length that you really, really like to see from your boundary corners. Josh Allen, another piece on this defensive puzzle, but this time along the defensive front. Now 28 years old, certainly becoming one of the more veteran players in the league, but his speed is still there, 86 speed off the edge, 88 finesse moves, and his ability to stop the run has definitely gotten better over the years. He came in as practically a 0 against the run, but now he is, pretty good. And he's going to be accompanied by Foyesade Oluokun at inside linebacker, 84 overall, playing up to an 85. And you want to talk about game-wrecking speed. At 88 speed, Oluokun, one of the fastest linebackers in the NFL. And although his coverage skills are not the best, his rangy sideline-to-sideline speed, movement, and athleticism are certainly going to be something that we have to take into account on offense. And joining Tyson Campbell now in his second season, Ron McKee. Also does have, decent size, and his speed is electric. 95 speed at the cornerback position. Now, he's not someone that's going to really get up and hand fight with those receivers at the line, just 76 press. But similar to Campbell, give him a nice defensive zone coverage scheme, and he is going to be ready to rock and roll. So, again, you all, I do apologize that we missed out on that Saints game. It was a very good game. Alvin Kamara, 14 for 145 and 3 scores in that game on the ground with an additional, 53 yards through the air. It was a dogfight, one that we did come out of successfully, thankfully, even with no Rondale Moore. But it's time to move on to this Jacksonville Jaguars game, man, as they highlighted Christian Kirk as our player to watch. And you see these guys getting ready to go onto the field. Jacksonville donning those throwback color rush uniforms. Now, they weren't very popular at the time, but I really did enjoy them. I know a lot of folks are like, oh, man, mustard yellow. Look, I mean, I guess, perception is reality. Mustard yellow, gold. I like to think of it more as a gold type of uniform. Just kind of makes it look a little bit better. And those helmets are amazing, if you ask me. But it will be Jacksonville going ahead and getting the opening kick. Let's go ahead and meet the rest of the team. At quarterback, as we already spoke about, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, the running back, with Tyler Batty backing him up. At fullback, you got Kari Blasingame, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, and Cedric Wilson going to be those top three guys in the receiving room, with Parker Washington likely getting a couple of snaps here and there as well. Evan Ingram, the starting tight end, with Brenton Strange, number 2. Anton Harrison, going to be one bookend of that line. Second-year guard Brandon Hankins at left guard. Got Brandon Sheriff there. Nick Griffin, the rookie right tackle, also in there. Jacob Martin at left end. Kendrick Richardson, the rookie right end, over there. Someone who's going to be looking to cause a lot of havoc. Devon Hamilton at defensive tackle. Josh Allen manning one edge rusher spot. Foyesade Oluokun and Devin Lloyd going to be the top 2 tandem inside linebackers. Trayvon Walker, former number 1 overall pick, manning the other edge position. Tyson Campbell, Ron McKee, and Michael Davis going to be those top 3 corners. Kobe Bryant over there from the Rams going to be number 4. Andre Sisco and Sidney Brown going to be the starting safeties there on the back end. The rookie Chris Borden, already one of the most powerful legged kickers in the league. At kicker, Logan Cook, the punter, and Tommy Townsend set to go ahead and kick things off. We are underway in a game against, 2 relative heavyweights for their conferences, as here is Trevor Lawrence ready to go ahead and lead this squad out onto the field. And so far on the season, Trevor, 2,371 yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, certainly having a pretty good season, all things considered. Can't ever be too mad at those numbers from your QB, as he drops back on the first play of the game and has a man out there. It's going to be a gain of 3, leading to a 2nd and 7, as Lawrence, now under center, going to take the drop back, going to go left side, looking for a man, has him. It's Calvin Ridley, who's able to break a tackle, but not really able to gain much more there. Just a 4-yard gain available to him, leading to a 3rd and 3. And we'll see if Arizona can get them off the field quickly, and they do. It's an early 3-and-out for Jacksonville. They're going to go ahead and punt things away. Logan Cook with Antonio Gibson's back deep to return. Gibson going to go ahead and handle the punt. Got some good blocks up there. Good one thrown from Jaron Kearse. Makes a move inside, but going to be brought down just before midfield at the 48-yard line. Really, really good return there from Antonio Gibson. And he sets this offense up needing just 52 yards to get into the end zone, and much, much closer than that to try to get into field goal range, as here is Glenn Roberts. His time to shine. We saw what Trevor Lawrence did to start the game off. Roberts going to be looking to do more of, well, not more of the same. 2,465 yards, 22 touchdowns, 14 picks. And over 300 yards last game, one of his better games through the air. Again, Roberts, at least right now, just him through the air is not something that we want to rely on. As you see, Ty Davis Price really putting the moves on the defenders. A gain of 25 there on the first play of the game by Arizona. Fortunately, it did not cost us, but when your running game isn't working, you get injuries like we did in that game. Sometimes you just have to adjust, and adjust we did, as Roberts was able to win us that game ultimately. And he's going to find Trey McBride here on the right side. Good lofted pass. Handoff to Antonio Gibson. Gibson has some good blocking. Gibson hit, and Gibson pushed into the end zone for the Arizona touchdown. And the Cardinals strike first in Jacksonville. It's Antonio Gibson, the man we were just talking about, who's been such a good returner for us. And when I tell you, he has been one of the best running back twos you could ever ask for. Finds the end zone there, and Jacksonville now back with the ball, giving it off to Travis Etienne, who's met in the hole by Cam Wilhelm. Last week, 85 yards on 18 carries and a score for Etienne. Certainly going to hope to keep him under those numbers today. Now 2nd and 7. Here's Lawrence looking left side for Calvin Ridley, and it's broken up. Amani Harris, the rookie there, in coverage, making sure he's not able to hold on to that one. Now 3rd and 7. Trevor has a man open across the middle of the field. It's Evan Ingram. And Ingram, someone that we did not highlight prior to the game, but certainly are going to have to keep in mind that he is a burner at the tight end position, has been electric for Jacksonville since signing from New York, as they're going to find Christian Kirk on his first catch of the ball game. Just a gain of 1 there. It'll lead to a 2nd and 9. Fake to Etienne. Trevor with the play action downfield has Kirk again, beating Andrew Stinson. Not something that we hear too often. Kirk, though, getting the leverage, able to get his route outside towards the sideline, and Lawrence with a dart to Christian Kirk, leading to a fresh set of downs. And he has Evan Ingram again up the seam, a gain of 21 this time for Ingram. And Jacksonville now set up at the 3-yard line. 1st and goal to go. Lawrence under center. Lawrence going to hand it off to Etienne, and Etienne, untouched, unabated. He's going to find the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A running back on each team striking first here in this game. And looks like this might be the kind of game that we are going to just have to go ahead and look forward to on the ground. Although there were some chinks in the armor showing in that Cardinals defense on that possession. Couple of 3rd downs converted there. They're back on offense now. Roberts faking to Antonio Gibson, looking outside for Trey McBride, but Tyson Campbell all over it. Really good awareness from him to get back to the ball, get back to where McBride was, and knock that pass away. 2nd and 10, quick screen pass out to Rondale Moore. Not much there, just going to be a gain of 3, leading to a 3rd and 7 here. Moving now to an empty look. Going to look short underneath for Rashad Bateman, who corrals his first pass of the game. Going to be a 9-yarder there for Bateman. 1st and 10 at the 37. Here's Antonio Gibson getting another give, and Gibson has some good blocks, able to get a gain of 7 up to the 44-yard line. They're going to sub him out, bring in Ty Davis Price, and Ty Davis Price going to actually be faked, and he has a man. It's Elijah Higgins who drops the ball. That is not a pass that you can drop wide open and unimpeded to the ball, but Rashad Bateman makes up for it on the next possession with an 18-yard catch. Unfortunately, though, going to be injured on the play. More on that momentarily, as Glenn Roberts brings Rondale Moore in motion to the left-hand side of the formation, and he's going to hand things off to Ty Davis Price. Davis Price again trying to make a move, has a gain of 12 there down to the 26-yard line. And Bateman, he's just bruised his shoulder a little bit. He will be back shortly, but just going to let him sit for a few snaps just to make sure that he's not overexerting himself. As Antonio Gibson now an 8-yard carry, and he's at 30 yards on just 3 carries so far today. 2nd and 2, Roberts dropping back. Roberts nowhere to go, fortunately able to get the pass away, but Trayvon Walker forced that ball out of his hands. It'll be a 3rd and 2 now. They're going to switch things around on this play. Handoff again to Davis Price. Davis Price makes a move. Price, able to break away from one more, but only down to the 2-yard line. And we were talking about Gibson, 30 yards on 3 carries. How about 52 yards on 3 carries for Ty Davis Price. Now lined up at the 2, Gibson wide open up the middle, gonna be stopped short of the touchdown. That is an interesting one, as it looked like he was gonna be clearly in for his second score. But both teams able to have a respectable offensive showing there in the first quarter. It is 7-7, but with Arizona lined up at the 1-yard line and threatening, it'll take everything Jacksonville has to keep them out, and keep them out they will not, as Ty Davis Price finds some space, gets in for the 2-yard rushing score, and now each running back for Arizona with a touchdown in this game, rushing touchdown to be more specific. Just no Jacksonville Jaguar there to impede Davis Price at all, and they will take a 14-7 lead. And now here we go. Trevor Lawrence, just the second play of the second quarter, gonna have a man out for the quick screen. It's Calvin Ridley, who only has a gain of 1, and center Connor McGovern is down on the play. And unfortunately for Jacksonville, he would not return for the remainder of the ball game. It'll be a 2nd and 9 now. Here's Trevor looking. He's going to be intercepted. Amani Harris undercuts the route. And Harris is, oh man, Trevor Lawrence, fortunately for Jacksonville, able to track him down. But Trevor Lawrence's first big mistake of the game, Amani Harris makes him pay for it, was with it the entire time, looked like he made a cut on that pass before the receiver did, and he's able to get his 5th interception now of the season. 6th interception now of the season. And he is going to set this offense up at the 6-yard line with an opportunity to go up 2 possessions. Here's Roberts looking for Rashad Bateman, but he's going to be undercut himself just 1 play later. It's Michael Davis, who read that the entire way, saw the eyes of Glenn Roberts, who was locked in on Rashad Bateman through the entirety of that play. And Davis gets the ball right back to his offense. However, they are going to be set up at their own 3-yard line, so less than ideal circumstances. And they're going to start the drive off with a run to ETN, but Lewis Cine all over it, dropping him for a loss of 2. Now at their own 1-yard line, pushing further back. He has a man out left side. It's Evan Ingram, a gain of 5. It'll be a 3rd and 7. Cine in there once again. Lewis Cine in there on both plays so far this possession. Now 3rd and 7. Stinson, here he comes. And Lawrence nearly picked off by Jalen Johnson. Wasn't able to hold on to it, but a punt is going to still set up Arizona on their own 48-yard line. And again, very favorable territory to start off with, as here's Ty Davis Price. And Davis Price with an 18-yard gain there down to the 34-yard line in Jacksonville territory, already about halfway down to that Jacksonville end zone. Well, halfway from, midfield, whatever. As he's going to find Rondale Moore quickly out left for a gain of 6, but a holding call would push it back to a 2nd and 14. Rondale Moore now coming across the formation. Looks like Roberts trying to survey the defense a little bit, see what they got cooking up. They're going to hand off to Davis Price, and Davis Price is going to be caught by held up by Josh Allen, and then ultimately caught by Tyson Campbell for a loss of 2. It'll be a 3rd and 16. Going back to that empty look, here's Glenn Roberts. Roberts has a man trying to find Rondale Moore, but he throws a bad pass into double coverage, and it's the 2nd-year cornerback Ron McKee who comes down with the ball, and that is the 2nd Jacksonville interception of the day. Arizona's defense doing all they can to give this offense some breathing room, but they have not taken much advantage of them at all. And Jacksonville now back with the ball and a chance to respond. As here's Trevor Lawrence going to hand off to ETN. BJ Ojolari there quickly to drop him for a loss of 1. Now a 3rd and 11. Trevor Lawrence in the backfield after nothing happening on that 2nd down play. And Lewis Cine undercuts another one. Lewis Cine, man, he has just been a 2nd quarter interception master, as that is his 3rd straight game with an interception in the 2nd quarter. The game against the 49ers and the game against the Saints, those were more so. Did I say the 49ers? Okay, not 3 in a row. But the game against the Niners and the game against the Saints were both under the 2-minute warning. This time it's with about 5 minutes left to go as Glenn Roberts, looking for somewhere to go, has to throw it away, can't find anything. And Lewis Seen, man, when you want to talk about playing for a contract in your contract year, this is exactly what you're talking about. It doesn't get much better than this. And if this is the type of play that we can expect from Seen throughout the rest of the season, I don't see how we can justify not giving him some type of extension. But a 3rd and 8 after the quick dump off to Elijah Higgins has a Rondale Moore over the middle, not going to be able to get to that first down marker. They will have to settle for a field goal, but it will be a 10-point game now at 17-7 as the throw to Cedric Wilson going to be popped out of his hands, leading to a 2nd and 10 now. Lawrence remaining in the shotgun, going to have a man right side. It's Cedric Wilson, and he has him there for a gain of 10. Wilson able to hold on to the ball through the contact from Jalen Johnson. So it'll be a 1st and 10 now at their own 36-yard line. As you see, changing up the defense a little bit, has a man, it's Ingram, who's been holding on to some of these passes through some big hits. And that's another one right there. 2nd and 4, 2:47 to go in the first half. Handoff ETN. Popo can't bring him down. Ojulari finally manages to wrestle him down after a gain of 10. And a 10-yard gain there gives ETN now 13 yards on the day on 5 carries. Really good job from him. 1st and 10 now in Arizona territory. Has a man. It's not Christian Kirk. It's Calvin Ridley down to the 35-yard line. His 3rd catch of the game, but that will bring us to the 2-minute warning with Arizona holding a 17-7 lead and also getting the ball at halftime. So if they can manage to stop Jacksonville here, potentially get some more points on the board as he has a man. It's Cedric Wilson again. And just as we're talking about maybe not getting any points on the board for Jacksonville, Cedric Wilson beats the press coverage of Jalen Johnson. Trevor Lawrence finds him, and pending the extra point, Jacksonville looking to get within 3 points once again in this ball game, but certainly getting it down to just one possession. And Arizona will fortunately have one more opportunity before the half to potentially go ahead and get some more points on the board. As here we go, Roberts, first play out of it, going to have Rashad Bateman there for a gain of 7. He's able to hold on, his 4th catch of the game. 2nd and 3 now. Roberts staying in the shotgun, has a man looking, Chase Claypool, who's leveled, but manages to hold on to the ball. Big time hit from that Jacksonville defense. Lucky for us, Claypool was able to hold on to that one, as here's Roberts looking underneath for Rondale Moore, but right through his hands, it would seem. Now a 2nd and 10, bringing Rondale Moore to the left-hand side of the formation once again. Davis Price in the backfield, and they're going to try to set up the screen for him. They do. Good block there on the edge. Davis Price breaking 1 tackle, able to get a gain of 12 and a timeout for Arizona, but they're down to the 38-yard line. 53 seconds to go and 2 timeouts, likely comfortably in field goal range now. Roberts airing one deep for Claypool, who had a bit of a step on Sidney Brown, but Roberts not able to drop it in the bucket on that occasion. Now 2nd and 10, left side, Rondale Moore, who's going to be pushed out of bounds by Andre Cisco, but they have been moving very, very easily down the field this possession. 24 yards between them and pay dirt. Here's Glenn Roberts going to dump it short for Davis Price, who is going to be forced down by Tyson Campbell. Hurrying up to the line of scrimmage now, 2nd and 6, electing to hold on to those 2 timeouts. Rondale Moore in motion. Quickly, Roberts has pressure in his face, trying to find Davis Price, not able to get there. It will be a 3rd and 6 now. We'll see what they can make happen. Both running backs in the backfield with Roberts. He's going to try to find Rashad Bateman, but he's undercut. The route read all the way. That's Ron McKee's 2nd interception of the ball game, stopping any and all momentum that Arizona had built up, getting down to where they were. He read the the cut of the route from Rashad Bateman, and that interception by McKee would end the half. It'll be Arizona taking a 17-14 lead into the locker room. Their ground game at 100 yards, while Jacksonville struggles to really get anything going with their own ground game. But let's go ahead and take a look around the league at some of these big-time games going on. First things first, Tennessee in Tampa, and they get their third win of the season behind 81 yards and a touchdown from Derrick Henry. Jared Goff not really having a great day despite his 2 touchdowns in there. Jets at Pittsburgh, a battle of the 2 10-1 team, or battle of the 2 1-loss teams rather, in the AFC. And it's a slow scoring game. Pittsburgh able to power through from 3 touchdowns from Kenny Pickett, and they now sit alone in sole possession of first place in the AFC. Rams taking on the Niners in the Monday night game. That's going to be a huge game as far as where things are going to end up in the division, as both teams currently sit at 7-4 and 2 losses in that column behind Arizona. But heading into this second half, man, I do think we just need to have more of the same. Outside of Glenn Roberts, 12 of 22, 109, 3 interceptions. We're putting too much in his arm or at his feet, it would appear. 3 first half interceptions. You don't want 3 picks in a game, much less a half. But we're going to have to figure something out here, as the first play out of the half, going to try to keep it with the read option keeper. Roberts, though, snuffed out for a loss of 4. Now 2nd and 14. Rashad Bateman coming over to the left side, and they're going to bring one man back into the box. Davis Price cuts inside. Price, just a gain of 5 there down to the 26-yard line. Now here we go, 3rd and 9. Into that empty look that they've loved so much this game, and he hits McBride, who takes a big hit from Sidney Brown, but manages to hold on, his second catch of the ball game. Now 1st and 10. Here's Roberts dropping back. Looking right side, Rondale Moore overthrows him. Tyson Campbell, though, all over it, so likely wouldn't have resulted in more than 3 or 4. Now 2nd and 10. Roberts trying to float one out for McBride, and once again just puts it right over the outstretched arms of Sidney Brown. And Trey McBride with 2 really nice catches on this possession. It'll be a 1st and 10 as Roberts changing things up. Looks like he's flipping the play around. He's under center, going to hand it off to Davis Price, who has a gap up the middle. Davis Price trying to find some more room. Gain of 11 there down to the 30-yard line, and they do not want to squander this one after they squandered that initial one. But Glenn Roberts is going to get held up on the tackle, and Josh Allen is going to be there to drop him for a loss of 7. Roberts now negative 11 yards on the game. On the ground, rather, as Chase Claypool, big time catch. He's had a couple of those so far in this game. Handoff, Davis Price. Price trying to fight forward, has a gain of 9, just 7 yards now shy of that 100-yard marker. 2nd and 1, going to bring Xander Horvath across the formation. Going to hand off to Davis Price, someone trying to dive at his feet. He won't be successful, and Davis Price now in for his 2nd touchdown of the game. That's 3 rushing touchdowns for Arizona now so far. 2 for Ty Davis Price, 1 for Antonio Gibson, and their running game has certainly responded in the wake of a passing game that has been lackluster, to say the least. Up to this point, it's 24-14. Now here's Jacksonville back on offense. 3 backs in the backfield. Blossingame, well, Ingram, not really a back, but 3 in the backfield. That's Trevor Lawrence going to, on the run, find a man. It's going to be Christian Kirk, setting up a fresh set of downs there at the 36-yard line. Going to hand off to Etienne, who hasn't had much space throughout this game and continues to struggle. Gain of 6 there down to the 41-yard line. 2nd and 4 now. Going to that bunch look on the left-hand side. Trevor Lawrence in the shotgun. Ojulari trying to come after him, not able to. Finds Kirk along the left side once again. Has a gain of 15 there into Arizona territory. at the 44-yard line. Here's Trevor remaining in the shotgun, something that's been working for them a little bit on this drive. He's going to drop back. Lawrence trying to find Evan Ingram, but instead finds J-Ron Curse. And this defense has been absolutely locked down on what was a pretty potent Jacksonville offense coming into this game. And 6 interceptions on the season for Trevor Lawrence have now ballooned into 9, with the third takeaway through the air for this Arizona defense. And their offense now with an opportunity to have a statement drive, potentially go up 3 possessions with a good one here, as they're going to start out with a 3 tight end look, bringing Darnell Washington in motion. And here's Ty Davis-Price. Davis-Price makes a move. Price able to fight for the first down, gets over that 100-yard mark, up to 107 yards now on the day, just shy of midfield. As here's Davis-Price again going to get the carry, able to break a tackle, would have brought him down for a loss. Instead, manages to find 2 there. It'll bring up a 2nd and 8 now. Going to hand off to Davis-Price once again, who tries to cut in towards that little gap up the middle and manages to find 5 yards into Jacksonville. Well, they were already in Jacksonville territory by a hair, but this time has Antonio Gibson, who's able to come down with the pass, despite Devin Lloyd in coverage, not able to quite stretch far enough, but it will be 4th and a matter of just inches. They're going to bring out Roberts under center, and he's going to fake it to Davis-Price. Look like he could have had Elijah Higgins quickly, but instead he is going to be brought down by Josh Allen. And to add injury to insult, Paris Johnson going to be injured on the play. Jacksonville taking over at about midfield, that is, as BJ Ojulari able to get back there to stop him from getting anywhere with that pass, leading to a 2nd and 10 now. Looks like Arizona's going to bring some heat. Lawrence has a man. Jalen Johnson, though, able to knock it away. Calvin Ridley would have had a house call if Johnson didn't dive for that breakup. And unfortunately, a bruised sternum will end Paris Johnson's rest of the day. They're going to have to rely on a backup tackle as Trevor Lawrence airs it out for Calvin Ridley. And he's able to hold on despite the contact from Lewis Seen. A big-time connection there from Lawrence to Ridley. And that'll bring us to the 4th quarter with Arizona leading 24-14. But Jacksonville threatening to potentially make this a game, as Trevor Lawrence pass is knocked away, batted down by Owen Popo. It'll be a 2nd and 10 now. Got to remember, the defense is doing this without their, you can argue it all you want to, but without arguably their most important player in Zaven Collins. He calls the plays. He has that green dot. And Cam Wilhelm and Owen Popo, as we speak about Cam Wilhelm, he's back there for the sack, and that will force Jacksonville to bring on the field goal team. But Owen Popo, who has really not seen the field much really at all over these 2.5 or so seasons so far since head coach Mike White has taken over, but he's made a few nice plays so far in this ball game. Jacksonville now down just 7 points, but Arizona with a chance to potentially increase that lead once again. And they're going to start with a 25-yard connection from Glenn Roberts to Rashad Bateman that takes them to midfield in just one play. Now a fake by Glenn Roberts, and Roberts, who has had no success running the ball, finds just 1 yard. He's now up to negative 10 yards on the game. Not what you want to see from your quarterback at all, as Ty Davis-Price adding on to the negative yardage fest with a loss of 2 there. One of the few times today that Jacksonville's been able to corral him, but Trey McBride makes sure that it doesn't matter, as he's able to beat Devin Lloyd pretty immediately off the line. Glenn Roberts finds him, but another player down. This time it's going to be Cesar Ruiz, and Antonio Gibson has daylight, had a crease, and took it for a gain of 23 down to the 5-yard line. Really nice run there from Antonio Gibson, and Arizona now just 5 yards away from another potential touchdown. Roberts gonna fake the handoff and has Elijah Higgins, who drops another one. Now, it would have been a tough catch, but he didn't even give himself a chance because he couldn't hold on to it. Now floating a dangerous ball into double coverage. Sidney Brown, Tyson Campbell, and even Foyesade Aluakun all over that one. Now 3rd and goal. Glenn Roberts under center, going to hand off Ty Davis-Price, and Davis-Price is met in the backfield by Devin Lloyd. They'd send the kicking team out. Cameron Dicker, good from about 25 yards, and a 10-point lead, 2-possession lead now once again for Arizona. But Christian Kirk on their first play has something to say about that with a gain of 31 down to the 44-yard line. And one of the biggest plays for this Jacksonville offense today comes at a crucial moment as Andrew Stinson was trying to fight for position for the interception, wasn't able to do it, kind of sold out the rest of the play. And Jacksonville now in Arizona territory as here's Trevor Lawrence, has a man open. It's Calvin Ridley. He's going to be brought down at the 27-yard line. 27 yards to go between them and a potential just 3-point deficit. And they're going to choose to hand it off to ETN despite having minimal success all game. He's a hair over 3 yards a carry, 8 for 25, although he has found the end zone once as well. Now 2nd and 7, ETN remaining in the backfield. Lawrence has a man, Ingram up the seam. Lewis seen there again, but Evan Ingram has just been so reliable for Lawrence in this game. A really nice, what's the word I'm looking for? Or the safety valve. Safety valve was the word as Trevor Lawrence takes off for a gain of about 3. Now 2nd and goal, 4 yards to go. Lawrence tried to find quickly Christian Kirk. Instead finds Jalen Thompson, who is going to be hit down in the end zone. But the interception makes sure that Arizona's going to have a chance to truly put this ball game away. Already up by 2 possessions, just a bit over 3 minutes to go here in this ball game. And sorry, he was not looking for Christian Kirk. He was looking for actually backup tight end Brenton Strange, which is not a situation you would generally expect him to look for that particular player in. However, he does that time around, trying to show some confidence in the young tight end. And at this point, this is going to be a salt-away drive if Arizona is able to fully commit to it. Bringing Elijah Higgins across the formation. Quick handoff to Ty Davis-Price, who just continues to add on to his yardage. Now, fresh out of the 2-minute warning, Jacksonville going to have to start using those timeouts. Just 1 first down in between Arizona and their 10th victory of the season. But they won't get it that time around. A timeout by Jacksonville. Now a 3rd and 1. Handoff, Davis-Price up the gut. And of course, he's good to go. Just a little bit later in the possession, Arizona managed to get down the field. Glenn Roberts, quick throw, Rondale Moore. Touchdown, Arizona. And that will be all she wrote. That was just really the cherry on top. And Arizona walks out of Duval with a 34-17 scoreline. Was pretty close in the first half. Second half, though, Jacksonville managing just 3 points. Defense really clamping down and forcing Jacksonville into some tough sets. Arizona, 449 total yards of offense, over 150 more yards than Jacksonville, over 200 more yards on the ground, and just 1 fewer turnover, 3 compared to Jacksonville's 4. Over 50% on third down while holding Jacksonville to 28% is a recipe for success. Trevor Lawrence, now I disagreed with this. Trevor Lawrence having a higher QBR than Glenn Roberts. He threw 1 more interception than Roberts, same amount of touchdowns. Completion percentage was slightly better, but that 1 interception I feel like should have been the difference. Ty Davis-Price, 169 yards, 2 scores. Gibson, 54 yards and a touchdown as well. And Glenn Roberts did get a long 24-yarder on that last possession to go ahead and make the running stats look a little bit more respectable. Christian Kirk leading the way, all receivers 5 for 84. McBride 4 for 68, leading our team as Rashad Bateman 4 for 59, and Rondale Moore finding the end zone after a brief 1-game absence. Devin Lloyd and Foyesade Oluokun along with Lewis Seen tackling machines in this game. Cam Wilhelm, Josh Allen getting the full sacks for each team. Ron McKee with 2 interceptions. Few other guys with 1 interception apiece. Forced fumbles, nothing to talk about. No touchdowns. And Cam Wilhelm's my time to shine scenario, unfortunately, going to come up empty despite missing Zaven Collins. And next week, man, we are on to the bye week, a well-deserved bye week. This is the 3rd year in a row that we've had our bye week at week 13 or later. It was week 14, year 1. It was week 14, year 2. And this time it's going to be week 13. And very interesting aspect of the scheduling. We have 5 games to go and have only played 2 divisional games. We've played 2 games against the Niners, have not played any games against any other divisional foe, which means at 10-2 and with the Rams sitting at 7-4, we are going to have 2 matchups remaining against them, including our next game in week 14. We are also going to have 2 matchups against the Seattle Seahawks, who, despite their 2-9 record, man, they did beat us last year in what was a pretty thorough beatdown. Of course, we came back, avenged that later in the year, but divisional matchups are never easy, especially when you're talking about a team as talented offensively as Seattle is, with some really good defensive pieces as well. But that is going to be all she wrote for this episode. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Do hope y'all are still enjoying the series, man. I'm having a lot of fun. Be sure to like and subscribe should you feel so inclined. Until next time, y'all have a great rest of y'all day, and peace.